So my friend and I had to wait 45 minutes to watch this movie because the projector wasn't working in the theater. But this was well worth the wait. Captain America Civil War. So Captain America Civil War is the third Captain America movie and the second one directed by the Russo brothers, who also directed The Winter Soldier. The central issue in this movie is driven by the collateral damage caused by the Avengers when they're trying to help people, other people are getting hurt. Then you have people around the world saying, hey, let's put these guys in check. You have Tony Stark who agrees with that, and Captain America who doesn't. And when you have these two ideologies clashing, it makes for a very enthralling and interesting film. What I really liked is that there were pros and cons to both sides, the Caps and Iron Man's. There was never black or white. There was never a clear right or wrong. I actually found myself switching sides quite often, and I think you will too. It's really interesting that way. It's not just a clear Captain America's right because it's a Captain America film. No, I was actually mostly on Team Iron Man's side for a majority of the film. And of course you got all the Avengers in this movie, all the new heroes from Phase 2 that were introduced that weren't in the Avengers, and they're all great, but I want to touch on a few specifically. Obviously I'll start with Captain America and Iron Man. They're really leading the forefront of this movie. They're really good in this movie. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are always good in their roles, so there's no problem there. Ant-Man was in this movie. He was really cool, really funny too. He played actually a little bigger role than I thought he would, and that was really awesome to see Paul Rudd in there. Black Panther. Black Panther is badass, people. Chadwick Boseman played this character so well. It's such a cool character. To be honest with you, I didn't know much going into this movie about this character, Black Panther, this hero. And so for this movie, it was really a main introduction to this character for us. And they did it really, really well. And I think people are really going to respond well to Black Panther. He was super cool, super badass. Now the big one, Spider-Man. Because we all knew Spider-Man was going to be in this movie from the second trailer that we saw. And Tom Holland kills it as Spider-Man, absolutely nails it. Now I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man comics and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And I'm serious when I say this. I think Tom Holland is the best version of Spider-Man we've seen on film. And he's the closest to the comics. It is excellent. Excellent. So well done. This is our first introduction to the new Spider-Man, and they do it really well. You see that he's poor, he's a teenager in Queens. He's not like, even Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, you didn't capture that aspect of him that well. But in this movie, you see like his first suit, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible until he gets the new one that you see in the trailer. And everything about this Spider-Man, he's quick-witted, and he's a teenager. He's in high school. And so when he's around all these superheroes that he's been looking up to, he's nerding out like all of us will. It's awesome. The action in this movie was out of this world. The choreography and the stunt work was great. There were only a couple scenes where it got a little shaky and kind of took me out of it. That's a tiny little gripe I have. They really stepped it up from Winter Soldier. The airport fight scene that I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about, and you saw a little bit of it in the trailers, is just insanely good. It just blew me away. It is the best superhero throwdown we have seen on screen. I promise you that. This movie is like a sequel to both The Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron. It has a lot of the Avengers in there, but it's distinctly a Captain America sequel film. It really revolves around Cap's and Bucky's relationship and friendship, and that's what really drives the story. This movie is a lot of building tension that starts off. The Civil War, the fighting, the Avengers fighting each other stuff doesn't happen until a little bit later on in the movie. I think I should tell you guys about that. But that's not a detriment to the movie. That's the Russo brothers doing what they do and doing it so well. The building of the tension makes the fight and the fight scenes so much more powerful and so much more emotional. But the movie building on the tension and the characters, it makes for a much more layered and deeper film. I do have just a couple main negatives that really did stand out to me. One, Crossbones, because he's fine for when he's in it, but he's not in it that much at all, really. And then two, the villain of Zemo. He was okay, but he seemed a bit unforgettable to me. He seemed kind of unnecessary. Like, if he wasn't in the movie, I still believe the characters would have gone the directions they did. Things would have happened the way they did, even if he wasn't in the background kind of pushing them along. He projected the plot along fine, but seemed a little bit forgettable and unnecessary at times. His character led to a kind of climactic scene that rendered a previous plot device kind of useless. And I could get more into that in depth in a spoiler discussion that I might do later. Guys, I really, really like this movie a lot. I think you will too. I have to see it a couple more times, see where it ranks for me among the MCU, but by far and most definitely it is one of the best Marvel movies to date. I'm going to give Captain America Civil War a 9 out of 10. The friend that I went to this movie with was much more critical about superhero movies. He's not a huge fan, but he did admit he really enjoyed this movie. He thought it was a really, really good superhero movie. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Comment below, let me know what you thought of Captain America Civil War. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button, and above all, subscribe to us, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Check out our last two videos, our Jungle Book movie review, and our Jason Bourne trailer reaction review. Thanks for watching. See you next time.